Okay. And then Kweku, how about you?
I have searched and found. I need to pick.
Hey, which one is that?
How's it you?
No, it's when you think you go here, the answer is not coming. Then you are there asking. You have to look into the market again. Now, when they see that there is a new client, then they start giving you the attention.
Okay, I don't want to go into that dynamic.
Wow, that's a dilemma, isn't it?
Yeah, when you
so there are people. I mean,
right
the
now
friends are all listening, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, they know.
So what? I mean, there are people who are with you, one or two people who are with you, who think that, I mean, they could possibly,
I am thinking now, because for them, I mean, you've made yourself available. Okay, this is my plan. What is it? Give me some time.
Who is giving who time?
The ladies are saying I should give them time.
Adam, I think he's in the friend zone.
I think so.
I think that's what it is.
He hasn't realized it.
Exactly. Yeah. He's in the friend zone with hope.
He hasn't realized
what it is.
Anyway, you can join in the conversation on 0244340437. Hopefully on 0302216541, we will activate the phone lines. But let's get into the conversation now. So I don't think Kweku will be able to answer any of these questions for now to start with. Or you've been there, come out and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me find out. Abinaba, you have been in a relationship too, right?
Yes.
Leading to marriage before?
Yes.
Okay. So let me start with you, ladies first. Generally, I just want to find out. Being in a relationship is a lot. Yeah, you go into a relationship with a lot of hope, and it's also a lot of risk as well. But there are some people who go in and even, I mean, any of you done cohabiting before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, Abna, you too?
Yeah.
No, that one I have not done before. It's come and go.
I told you, it looks like you had a baby.
No. I mean, you can't. Because they have values from where you come from. There are some things you can't be, you can't do.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
but
agree.
you come and go. As for come and go, there we do.
Okay. So, I mean, for me, I think that's the extreme point. Where you're in a relationship, we make a lot of sacrifices. People are paying fees. People are even, taking care of people's parents in hospitals. But you're dating and hoping that, one day, say we will get married. And so you do you immerse yourself. And then to the point where you move in to go and live with a person. I'm simply asking, why do people do that? Why do all of these things that couples do when you are not a couple, when you're not married?
You mentioned, the word expectation. The expectation is that we are going to get married.
Okay. So why don't you wait till you get married?
The fact that we are going to get married now stands there. Okay. So because of that, I want to do the things that I would do if the two of us were married.
Okay.
Okay. Now, when it comes to dating, of course, we don't have that kind of expectation, like non-written expectation that parents have towards their kids or married couples have for each other, as we know. But then some people, out of love would want to do certain things for each other. And then cohabitation becomes part of it. One of the reasons off the top of my head will be, say, due to geographical location. Let's say one of them lives far away. So anytime he or she comes to visit, they would have to stay over. Then staying over, it turns to a weekend, then a week, then a month.
It becomes the norm.
Exactly, you understand. So the expectation that hopefully we'll get married one day then leads to that. You understand? Some of them, let's say that it could be during the time of even courtship. We are now attending counseling. We have about 6 months ahead of us. So why don't we move in together? With some, it could be, let's say, one of them has to go and then pay rent. So the other will be like, instead of using that money to pay your rent, why don't you move in? Exactly. So then they end up doing all the things because they are expecting to get married. And let's face it, also, some people do not want to get married but still want the benefits.
So for you, people do that purely based on hope and expectation?
Hope and expectations.
Okay.
Yes.
Before you come in, Nanya, let me
Okay.
just remind our listeners, if you're a loyal listener to Joy FM, even if you're not a loyal listener, welcome on board today to be a loyal listener. If you've been following, you know about the Cosmopolitan Mixed Weight Loss Challenge. This morning, they're training at the Labadi Beach Hotel with the Ascens GH team. And so you want to, join them right now and then get your thing going. Today I think is the 18th day. They still have about 12 more days to go with the challenge. I'm sure by the end of it we're going to look at the biggest positive loser, how much weight you were able to lose, and if you were cheating, you're cheating yourself. So this morning Mama V is there, Philip is there, the Ascens team is there, Ada is there, Clifford is there. You want to join them and then shed some calories this morning. They started I think at 6 a.m. So if you hurry there, you will meet them at the Labadi Beach Hotel. Okay, Nanya.
Well, I'm going to come at it from a different perspective because I think Abena and Kweku probably would be able to talk from a Ghana perspective. Now, from the UK, I think most of it is mostly circumstantial.
Okay.
So people cohabit. It's become the norm. If you look at it from an example, most people leave home when they're 18. Either for university or because they just feel like that's the age to leave.
Okay.
So there's the expectation of kids to leave their parents' home when they're 18. So what happens is you go to university, you meet, whoever you're dating, whatever. After university, times are hard. You can't afford to go back to where your family are because the job isn't there. So you both go to a place where you're both looking for, which usually in the case in the UK is either London or Manchester, right? So then it just sort of happens. Now, I think for me, cohabiting is quite useful because it adds a certain dimension to getting to know your partner on a different level. Now, there are certain things. I've been in 2 situations where the first cohabiting experience was the worst experience of my life.
Ouch.
The second was one of the best and still is, right? But for both situations...
And still is.
Yeah, but for both situations, I learned so much that I would not have learned if that person was not in my space for that period of time. And I think a lot of people, when they get married, they start to realize these certain petty things that might aggravate their minds that they wouldn't have noticed because they have not cohabited before. And at that point, depending on how your culture is and how your attitude towards divorce is, it becomes a problem. Either something that you just accept because you're married now, but in other situations, people find it very easy to break away from that. So I think cohabiting is very important. Now, if you can survive without cohabiting, that's fair enough. And I think it always depends on how your society views it. But from where I come from, it's the norm. And in fact, the government have acknowledged it so much so that they're starting to get equal rights as married couples, except for inheritance. So that should tell you something.
Ghana's a bit far away from that.
I know.
So like I said, I'm just talking from a UK perspective, right?
Just
But Ghana is, I'm sure Ghana is very different from that perspective.
Yeah, because you
Far,
said that
far
it depends
different.
on the society and then also culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. My friend Mekwe on Hits FM will say, we're in Ghana.
Right.
In
Here
Ghana.
in Ghana.
Yeah.
I see. So let's talk about the experiences. You said it's useful,
Yeah.
and then it was also circumstantial.
Yeah.
And the first one happened to be, the worst.
The worst.
Now let me find out from you. Did you do this also, apart from it being circumstantial, did you do it also based on the fact that you hoped or you expected that you guys would get married?
No. The first one, I didn't see us getting married at all.
Okay.
No. I think it was just easier. I mean, some people look at it from a financial perspective, right? I mean...
But you were in a relationship. It's not like you're just patching.
No, I was in a relationship.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, she
know
was perching.
Some people are. She came to perch with you.
I suspect so.
And so you suspect she wasn't in a relationship with you?
I suspect that she was in a relationship when it was convenient to her. Which
So
meant...
that happened.
Which was basically
Yeah.
from 10 p.m.
That happened.
where she needs to sleep. And then, during the day, she
Did
was
you
not in a
know
relationship.
that from the beginning?
I got to learn that very quickly because I was living with her. And that's something that cohabiting can tell you. Like, when you're not living with someone, you're in Kweku's situation where you think you're in a relationship with someone, but, you're in the friend zone. But when you're cohabiting with them, I mean, that's a big step, right? So if they're living with you, you get to notice certain things that you would just never be able to realize if they're not in your space.
Very
like
true.
there are certain things that you just can't learn. There's certain things that just happen, and you're no longer, when you're cohabiting, you're not as cautious. I mean, married couples will tell you the same thing. You know, that argument of, when married couples are married, why is it that people don't make efforts anymore? It's not that they don't make efforts. It's just that there's certain things you notice that you didn't notice before because they're always in your space. And that's what cohabiting does.
Exactly.
So how about the investments? You invest emotionally. You invest your finances, you invest your time and everything into building this relationship.
I don't think you invest any more because you're cohabiting. If anything, you invest less because you get to find out whether your investment is working in a shorter amount of time. So if anything, you're investing less because to a point where you realize, you know what, this money's not going anywhere. Let me pull out. But if you're not cohabiting, you don't get to learn certain things that would put you off once you get to know them as much as you could. So you're there, you're investing in things, but you don't particularly know how things are going to turn out. And then when you get married, that's in Ghana anyway, when you get married, that's when you realize, the trouble or the happiness that you're in, depending on which way it goes, because you're now in that same space that cohabiting would have provided you at the very beginning.
Were you sharing bills and everything at the time?
The first relationship, no. The second relationship, yes.
So the first relationship, everything was dependent on you.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
You didn't feel like you were doing too much. You were not hurt when it broke up.
Hurt because I was cohabiting and now I'm not. Now I've spent all that. No. I mean, I was grateful that I learned. For me, if I was not cohabiting with this person, I mean, we're in a relationship for let's say 2 years. If I was not cohabiting, it would have been 6, 7. In fact, I may have even ended up marrying the person because the certain petty grievances that I had learned from living with her, I would not have come across them if I was not living with her. And I would have been tricked into marrying her, right? Because, I would have felt that things are great and, things are like this. Then, of course, when we live together, I'm sure it would just be a continuation. And that's the expectation that people gain from the little happiness they get when they're away from each other. See, when you're away from someone, and you get to have your own time. And then when you're with them, you appreciate their company a lot more. So you start to ignore the little things or the certain things that may aggravate you if you're with them all the time, because you want to explore and enjoy the little moments you are with them. When you're living with them, however, you see them all the time. You learn a lot more and a lot more quickly about how that person is and how compatible you might be.
From everything you're telling me, you're sounding like there are no negative effects to cohabiting.
Oh, no, of course there are.
Okay.
You said the extreme was cohabiting. I think the extreme is when you have a child with the person.
Yeah, because I was actually about to come there. You see, the average Ghanaian woman is fertile.
Most women are born to be fertile, by the way.
The average, so cohabit with her.
Oh.
And the expectation is that when you get her in the family way, you're supposed to marry her.
That is what's going to come in. Because let me tell you, there are few things in Ghana a lot of the women get wrong. A lot of the guys, we want to be there, but we are not there. Marriage is one of the difficult things for men. Now, when you do cohabiting,
I used to think otherwise when I was much younger.
Yeah. when you do cohabiting, you are giving him all the thing he's been struggling to deal with. And he sees you where he's supposed to go through counseling, do all these things to be, and you are there. He's done. You are there. So the 10 marriage will be a facade, will be a fallacy, something you dream it will come. But for him, you are in the space a married person is supposed to be, and you are there now. So what else are you expecting? And you have graced him with a child. Oh, I mean, thank you. We are moving on.
We keep going.
Yes, we are going. If you are not careful,
see, I do understand.
If you are not careful, you celebrate
from.
your 20th anniversary with him, with a child.
Yeah, I do understand where you're coming from. But then you see, one thing that we have to understand this is that when you are in love with a person, you understand, it gets to a point, and I'm trying to use my story and then also couple it with some others. You get to a point whereby, out of wanting to help the other, you would have to give in to certain situations that you normally would not have. Okay. So let's say that as with what happened to me, now there was the issue of rent, and we were preparing to get married. Okay. Now, one of us was living in a 3-bedroom house. So if we are preparing to get married, why would you then use this huge amount of money to go and then rent? Unlike UK, whereby you just pay, the first month and the security deposit. Yeah, in Ghana,
We'll talk about that
2
later.
years. If you're not lucky, Grandpa, the landlord will, demand for 3. So 2 years, instead of using that lump sum to go and then pay for the rent, then why don't you move in? Then we can use that money for something else. So there is always
Whose
a
idea was this?
reason.
Yours. Theirs.
So there is always.
You people are very creative. They will come out with a plan that this is execution plan, not finding out whether the guy buys into that plan.
Oh no, they'll convince the guy to buy
Yes.
that
Hold
plan.
on. I mean,
Absolutely.
we're learning from.
Excuse me, you
This is-
don't even know the situation. You're saying that we will convince the guy.
But
I mean,
girls
this is-
usually do,
I mean, you
and they're
sold
good
the
at
idea
it.
And
to him.
besides, no, she hasn't said. I mean, she did that. She hasn't confirmed that. Why?
But she
I
has
always
really.
scratch my head.
Why are you pushing it down?
No, but the way she's talking-
Okay, Abena,
hold
did
on,
you
let me-
suggest it?
Hold on. let
Or
me-
you
let-
sold
hold
to
on,
him.
Hold on. So
One
we're
talk.
learning from these experiences. Okay. So what happened from then on?
Okay, so that was the moving in. Now the moving in was to my apartment and not the other way around.
So you suggested
Okay.
it.
You understand? Because the question is, yeah, Babewari, we are coming to get married within the next 4 months. And
You
now,
started going through counseling.
yeah, you
Okay.
understand. So,
And he was going all.
Kakra.
Was that counseling with the pastor?
Okay, please.
Kakra.
I am doing the questioning.
Exactly.
Thank you
You
very much.
understand? So now, instead of using that money to go look for a place,
Yeah.
then why don't you come? Because after marriage, you will come here. I've already paid for the advance, so it's just a simple matter of you moving in. Then it drew time. Then you just, top up, or both of us will come together, and then we'll pay the rent. Then he moved in. And just as you said, that was when we got to know each other.
Oh, yeah.
Because you see, building up on what Nanya said, when you are dating, now let's say that if a gentleman is coming to visit me and my place is very dirty, immediately I will clean up. So he always comes to a very clean environment. I will cook. Even if I don't know how to cook, I'll make somebody cook for me, or I'll go and buy the food.
Yehovah.
So he doesn't know. Oh, yeah. So he doesn't know that I don't know how to cook. Now, when I go to his place, I don't like how the place is. I haven't swept my room, but then I'll sweep his room. I will wash his clothes because I'm expecting
You're putting
him
your best foot forward at all times.
to get married to me. Now, out of that, he is so sure. Why is Keko like
Stop
this?
looking at people.
So out of this, he's now so sure that I'm the perfect wife material.
Or he is the perfect.
Or he is.
husband. You're trying to say opposite of material. Isn't
Let's just go with material.
Material. I like that. Go material.
Now you move in together, and then you get to realize that, oh, okay, so you can wake up in the morning and not paste, and not bath, and not sweep, and not do this. Oh, so you can go to bed doing this or that. You have now moved from a situation whereby you thought this person was A to B to now really seeing that the person is actually from A, jumping straight down to Z. And that is why people cohabit, and sometimes, or most often than not, if it weren't because of our culture, wouldn't have gotten married. And that is the fact. If it wasn't because of our culture, they wouldn't have gotten married, because then they would have gotten to a point whereby I know so much about this person that it is best that I back out.
Yeah.
But then her parents know that she's with me. His parents know that I'm with him. Now, how do we then go and talk to them that it can't work when they are also expecting us to get married? Let's say that we didn't even want our church to know, but now our church knows. So how then do we break up? The best thing will be to get married so that nobody would say that, okay, I used her Okay,
So
which is what we women like
4
using.
months before marriage, you moved in together, and then that was when you realized that this wasn't going to work.
No, I cool, as a fancy will say. No, but
Adam,
Hold on, Google, let me finish. I'll come to you. So that was when, 4 months after dating for probably a year or two, that was when you realized it. Now,
Right.
so I think this is where we'll be speaking to PG as we go along, but I think this is where, counselors advise that you don't go cohabiting.
exactly.
You understand? Because if you were learning about, if you spent the time to learn about marriage and what makes marriage work and not go acting married, you would have been able to work on your, you would have been able to, one, understand the institution of marriage and know that you can't be married to somebody pretending. Hold on, you can't be
Interesting.
married to somebody pretending. So you would have learnt about the institution, know what makes that institution work, and then individually you work on yourselves before coming together. So when you come together, you know that, listen, and everybody knows that, look, when you start dating, even when you start dating and it progresses, you'd realize that what you guys used to do first month of the relationship,
it
by
changes.
the time you're getting into the 6th month, you're not doing that much, because you will have to do what? Keep progressing in the relationship. Things come up, you have to deal with things and keep going. We know these things, we know these things, and I don't want to overgeneralize as well. So we know these things. And so for me, I believe that then how many people would you cohabit with? Because then you go cohabiting with the next person in the, bid to get married. After 6 months, you realize that, oh, they are like this, they are like that. And because it is not marriage, you're quick to jump out and not to even work at it.
Yeah.
Okay, I do get what you said, but then you see, cohabiting, just like marriage, lets you know who
Will you
the
do-
person
will you do it
is.
again?
Oh, of course not.
Will you cohabit again? Okay.
You see, you always learn your lessons there. That's one thing. You always learn your lessons. And also, so many people have a concept about what marriage is. And nobody should say that Abena is advising them. But then what I think is that cohabitation lets you see or lets you experience marriage outside marriage. It lets you,
Which is not supposed to be.
that's why I'm saying that
According
nobody should
to-
say that. I'm just saying this
From her experience.
from
It's
my
like more like it's a Champions League.
League. Okay, the reason why I'm saying this is that now you are living with a person. You are experiencing how truly the person is when it comes to XYZ. What they do when you are there, what they do when you are not there. Now, this is so different
Let me just announce this quickly. A car tanker has exploded at the Malam market. So we're alerting the Ghana National Fire Service together immediately.
Okay.
At the Malam market, a car tanker we're hearing has just exploded.
Okay. So now that one is so different from when you were dating. Okay. So it lets you know that, oh, really? So if you are living with someone, it is like this. Now, that also informs you on your next relationships, because there are certain things that you look out for, whereby at first you wouldn't have. You would have just...
Have you seen a pretender? Somebody who has this... Look, so this lady, I want to be with this lady.
Oh,
Or I want to be with this gentleman. And the person is asking me to come and cohabit with them. So I move in. And if I am listening to you today, then I know that during cohabitation, people are looking out for things. They want to pick out things. And this thing might end in marriage or not. Have you seen somebody be at their pretense best until you...
I mean,
marry them?
can I take this one?
Yeah.
Like I said, there are certain things that cohabiting will teach you that you just can't explain. There are things that just come out, right? So for me, first of all, I don't think cohabiting is pretending to be married. That's one thing. That's the point that you mentioned before. And not everyone actually cohabits because of the idea of marriage. Some people cohabit for financial reasons. Some people cohabit for whatever the reason, right? Cohabiting just gives you the opportunity to learn from someone.
The topic we're discussing says that why act married when you're not married?
Well, you know what? I think, like I said, we've talked about so many benefits
a
of acting
Christian?
married. No, I'm not. No,
Okay.
no, I'm not married. And I think a lot of people try to use the religious text to justify
I
a
just
lot of
asked a
things.
simple question.
But
Let's not go into that.
but what I'm saying is that, you see, it's from a practical point of view, and I think practically a lot of things are changing, even within Ghana. When I just said, for example, one of the reasons why people cohabit is financial reasons. They will get to a point in time where the financial reasons will be enough to convince people to cohabit in this country, irrespective of the culture. It's already happening.
Okay. Kweku hasn't said much.
Adam, for me, I don't agree to cohabiting. It's an escape route for a lot of guys, and because the marriage thing is sometimes very difficult. When you even see your friend doing it, you wish him well. Now, I believe if you start dating, it's a progressive process. You move from dating to courtship, then marriage. Now, in all this, there are times you do sleepovers and other things. You get to know the other things. So there are things you can pick, and if you really in the space of getting married or getting ready, there are things you look out for. You get it from parents, friends, and other things. So you don't need cohabit to really discover the person. If I spend a night in my girlfriend's house, or I go there, let's say Saturday morning, throughout the day, there are things I'll get to know. There are things, our movement, the things we use. We will expose ourselves. You can't pretend for that long. But when you allow cohabiting comes in, it's more like a vacation you're not paying for. The person will be there, and then all the benefits that the person is supposed to acquire after marriage is being offered on a silver platter. Then you come back and say you are being used. You were a benefactor to the use. You get me? So I feel you need to know what you're looking for. You need to define the relationship before you even get to cohabiting. That we are in counseling, knowing that there are things that might even come out of counseling that can even get you two to separate. So why don't you wait after the counseling? If you say 4 months, 4 months is this, and the financial bit, we should be careful, because if you say, because I had a 3-bedroom and anything, I'm coming.
Story.
I'm saying no. I'm okay.
That's my story against me.
I'm not using against it.
Exactly. 4 months, 3 apartment, a 3-bedroom apartment.
If me,
She keeps looking back to it and it's like, how did I get myself?
listen, as a man, if you offer me, there are things.
Move into a 3-bedroom apartment with me.
If a man feels he's been offered all this, and one day these things will be pointed at him, that one is even another challenge there. That I rented this apartment for you. I will hear,
After all I did for you.
If those quarrels will definitely come.
But I think that's an individual issue, though. I mean, that's
all
not.
These things, I mean, there is no one size fit all approach
Yeah.
to
Yes.
these things. So these things are very individualistic, but they keep playing out in a lot of situations. So, yeah, this is the issue with cohabiting.
But the topic is not cohabiting.
Yeah, but we're just using it as one of the
moving away
examples
from
of them.
We're
Yeah.
moving away from
Yeah.
it quickly. So, you can be married to somebody, and after 20 years, you wake up to a shock.
Okay.
So cohabiting really won't. Yes, it looks like you're mimicking marriage, but it's not marriage, and it won't tell you 100% who the person you're dealing with is.
You will never know 100%.
Even
no.
yourself, you keep surprising yourself every day. So
Yes, we grow.
that is not. It's not. The proof that because I am living with you and seeing you and seeing the
won't
things
change
you
it.
But it's a
it
big
means
help.
that this is what marriage is going to be. You could see all of these things. You marry the person. There are some people who come into marriage with different agenda. So what it is that's what I'm saying. For me, understand the institution of marriage. What is marriage? If you understand marriage and you know that Nanye or Kweku and Abna, you are planning to get married, spend time to understand what our contributions to this is. What is the marriage? Probably you want to sit down and have a drawing of the marriage. This is what my contribution to it will be. This is what yours too. And then we map out a route. Then we know that we're going in there to build something. Other than, move in, let me watch you. I don't like the way you walk. Oh, apparently she puts too much salt in her food. She does this. And then you are picking and choosing when there may be some
the real
very
deal.
important things that you will have to pay attention to if you act maturely about it. So like they said, Abena has done it, won't do it again.
No, I won't.
So even if you have to get married, you won't cohabit before getting married. Okay, great. That's a point.
We have
Nanya
deleted that
will do
part.
it and do it and do it again.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Kweku won't even try it
No,
at
no.
all.
Oh, yeah, I'll do
great.
it. Absolutely.
Now let's move on to other things. How about, you talked about financial support.
Yeah.
So you find somebody, you're interested in the person, you want to get married to the person, and then, like we did say, hope, expectation that we'll get married. And of course, if this person, probably you met a gentleman or a lady who's done with secondary school, they have prospects, they want to go study, marketing or something, and when you support them and you get a good job, it helps build your family together. So all of a sudden, people start playing daddy roles or mommy roles. They're paying school fees, they're cooking, they're feeding. How about those ones?
Okay.
Is it okay? Is it safe?
Do you know
to
what?
do?
I'm just going to start this off. No. Now,
No.
I think...
you will live with the person.
No.
but you won't know.
Let's make it clear here. I think, okay, and I think it comes from that word expectations that you mentioned before.
Yes.
Now, here, one thing I've noticed, so I went to secondary school in Ghana, and one thing I noticed that the expectation of making a man pay for all these kind of things always comes from the fact that the man is
No,
seen
there are
as a
some
provider.
women who are paying for these things.
I know there
Yes.
is. I know there is.
So
but
let's have a clear balance.
I know there is, but let's be honest. The majority
No, let's
are
have
not
a
like
clear
that.
balance. Things are changing.
Yeah, but not fast
A
enough.
lot of
Yeah,
women
not
are-
fast enough.
Oh,
not fast
oh,
In
enough.
that angle, it has not been
No,
pushed
that's
The
not
thing is
changing
that,
much.
please,
the
don't
women do
agree.
not say it because they feel
But let me get to the
shy.
point. Let me get to
So
the point. Let me
you
get to
just-
the point though. But there is that expectation, that underlying expectation of the man as provider. It's always going to be there. So whether it will always present itself in a different way. Now, there is a certain point in time where fine, it's okay to do that, but that's usually by mutual agreement. Now, but you can't expect a man to do that just because he is interested in you or he's dating you. I think marriage, like you said, is a partnership, right? You have to practice being a partner.
For us Christians, it's a covenant.
Oh my!
It's okay.
Okay, covenants. But now, fine. Just the fact that I'm in Ghana now, so let's call it covenant. But covenant partnership, let's use it interchangeably, all right? But the point being is that there is a mutual partnership between the two of you, where you're both bringing something to the
Together,
table,
yeah.
right? You have to learn how to be a partner to benefit so that at a point when you are in that relationship, you know how to be a partner in that relationship.
But I need the support.
Of course you need the support, but of course you shouldn't expect the support just because. And I think the acting like you're married is the expectation that he should provide it to
Yeah.
me, right? That's the acting like you're married part.
Okay, so what if you can afford it?
Who?
If the man or the woman can afford to help, and it won't be a
It's on
burden
it's
them.
their discretion. But again, they shouldn't they shouldn't feel like they need to just because they're in a relationship with each other. And I think that's one of the problems that we have a lot in this society at the moment.
All right, great.
Okay. I'm actually so happy that we are having this conversation because this has been something that people have been talking about on social media, myself in the various groups. And that has to, comes with the result that men feel that it's high time that women stopped expecting help, just because they are dating. And even sometimes they're not even dating. Okay, so
No,
you start
yeah.
chatting with a lady today, she start asking for money to buy credits, to buy data.
Oh, my favorite,
Okay,
rent.
and then that joke. As soon as the lady says, like you ask her, how are you doing? She says,
Oh, boy.
Then there's a
Don't
demand
ask
coming.
anything.
Yeah, move
Don't say
away.
anything
Yes, there's
because
a demand
she's going
coming.
to ask for money.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we are looking at why we as women would be expecting that. So let's look at typically before this year. So let's say 10, 20 years ago, if a man proposes to a woman that I would like to settle down with you one day. Now, there are certain things that the woman ends up doing. She's washing for him, cooking for him, cooking for his parents, washing their clothes, etc.
Their parents are not well.
Why are you
Exactly.
turning to me? Why are you looking at me and saying
I'm glad she's not looking at me.
Okay. So I won't look at either of
At
you.
the end of
I'll
the
look at you.
month, at the end of the month, you also will have to buy bags of rice and things and take home buying cloth and things. Yeah, I'm asking. So why do
Edem, I
we do
call that
all
a
of these
partnership,
things
by the
when
way.
we are in a relationship?
There you go.
All because of husband-wife material. So I want to prove that I'm the best woman out of the women that he has met. And then he also wants to prove to her that, okay,
responsible
exactly,
man.
that I'm responsible. That is why women target married men, because they say that they are stable and they are responsible. So some women will never ever chase single guys, but then will
really
target
sad,
married.
eh?
Go
That's
to a
not-
stable.
that's not
Go
true.
to a stable and you see the things the horse has destroyed.
Fact. And then I always say that such men are responsible because there's a woman taking
think you've seen the
care
stable,
of the
so
flock.
there's everything
so now
is okay.
back to what I was saying. So because of that expectation, and as Nanya said, so the lady now sees that, okay, I'm with you. Now I've got things to take care of. So pay my bills, my rent, electricity, food, this. If she has a child, then you become the father by default, even though the two of them are not married. So then, in this very, very hard economy, a man who is now struggling to take care of himself ends up having one mouth or two mouths, 3, 4 if he's not lucky, and outside the benefits of marriage. So those of us listening, the reason why we are discussing this topic is that most often than not, some people just want the benefits without marrying you. And a lot of them are us women.
Thank you. Do you know what?
I
I'm just going to
will
shake your
not
hand off
lie
camera here.
about
Thank you.
it.
We'll give you a hug.
I will
Well
not lie
done. Well
about
done.
it.
Well done.
Okay,
Well done.
we women, we are using men, and sometimes the most annoying thing is that she is going out.
Yeah.
He knows that she is going out, but she will not ask her boyfriend for money. So you are not in a relationship with her, but then you are going through relationship issues with her. She comes complaining to you about what her boyfriend is doing to her. She comes to you when she needs money, comes to you when she needs company, even comes to you when she needs... All right, so...
It's at that point when somebody sees, I mean, that's when the answer it's complicated comes in.
Yeah,
So somebody
exactly.
sees that, oh, you're, then they ask you, are you, in your heart of hearts, you know that you're not in a relationship.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
understand?
That one, there's a term for we are
Yeah,
with
yeah.
you, but we are not yours.
Yeah, okay. So
We are
so
with
there
you,
are
but we are
women
not yours.
who accept to be
Hashtag.
with men, and we are doing that a lot of the time in this current year that we are in, whereby women are targeting men who have. So I'm going through this guy's IG photos. I am checking out his Facebook. I'm checking out Twitter. Oh, he has a car. Oh, he's made mention of having a house and all that. Oh, this guy is cool. So then she starts,
Warming up to the
You've
to
left out the
him.
geographical area.
Do you remember that point I made
that's
where
right.
financial conditions will determine how people act in
Exactly. So,
situations?
you
Exactly.
We don't have a lot of time. Let's progress with the conversation.
Yeah.
What you're trying to say is that shouldn't be.
No, it
No.
shouldn't be.
Those things should be done only when you're married.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Cool.
Adam, I think
Can I
that-
look at you now?
yeah.
Okay.
That comfort zone, when you offer all those things, you should know that it won't work for a man. If you pay my fees, if you take care of me and everything, and I'll end up being with you, and that thing will always stir at me that anytime there will be a misunderstanding or a heated convo, this is how far I've brought you. It's like a pastor. It's like a pastor who has started
That would
a
be very
church.
painful.
It's like a pastor who has started a church. It gets to a point, all the people who helped him to get to the top, they make sure they don't have them around so that the ego and the power can come to play. If I know that is what will happen, I mean, you'll be there and I'll tell you, I don't think this thing will work. And then I say, oh, me now, I'm not ready. But within 2 months, you hear I'm getting married somewhere else. Because I know that investment you've given me.
So what? If you're in a relationship with somebody and okay, let's say that we have had these conversations, right? And you're very sure that you guys will get married.
How sure?
Well, I mean, you can only be
Sure enough.
You can only. I mean, you
Or you can
dated
hope.
You can only hope. You can only expect, and you probably know that you have put things in place and you have stepped in the right direction. So you know that this relationship is leading somewhere. You've already started courting and all that, and genuinely, your partner probably has. I mean, their parent is not well, or they need help to pay for something, something, and it is very genuine. Are we saying that on those calls,
if it's one time, but we
shouldn't take it out?
If it's one time, I'm paying for a hospital bill.
It's fine,
and it's
I'm
cool.
supporting.
But I'm going to pay for 4-year education. I will educate myself.
But then you see that thing.
I will educate myself.
Okay. The thing too is that.
I mean, let's be fair. Why educate somebody when I need education?
Well, maybe you don't need it.
Some people,
first degree, I can do my master's.
Would you support a woman like that?
Like I said, it's not about me not supporting them. I would.
You would.
I don't expect them to expect it just because they're within my space. You get what I mean? I think there is, when you're in a relationship with someone, you sort of know how genuine it is.
Yeah,
you know how genuine it is.
0302216541. You want to join in the conversation? We're asking, why act married when it's not marriage? And we've been getting some very interesting revelations.
No, my
why people do the things they do, even though they're not married. And at the end of the day, they come out very, fractured, battered, hurt, and then they generalize. In that, I mean, once they come out of that space, every woman is like that. Every man is like that.
Sadly.
Every situation is like that. Meanwhile, you force yourself into a space that you were not supposed to be.
But then we act it out the world that even when we're going to church and programs, the way we walk, the way we do things, people around us, people who see the two of you are so sure that these people are married. So when the reality comes and said, oh, they were just cohabiting and like working things out. Oh, I thought, they looked nice. They were a good couple. They were this.
Yeah.
Yes. When you act it well, you do it so well that when the reality comes, it does not fit the acting part, and it's something we should be very careful about.
Okay.
I disagree. I on every day that I will get involved in cohabiting, and then also try to invest when I'm not sure of where I am, because we are humans. We keep surprising ourselves every day. There are times you're in a relationship and you get up in the morning and you ask yourself, so why am I here? You see, you need to convince yourself and be
even
sure.
With marriage cramp, I know that married couples do that. Now, I also want to bring another angle when it comes to the financial expectations. A lot of the time too, they are due to comparison. My friend's boyfriend does these things for her, so I would also expect you to do the same thing.
Let's speak to Etonam. Hello, Etonam. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Over the this.
Okay, great. You're on air.
Adam, thanks. And then I wanted to ask your panelists. Is it in Ghana that you meet a lady and then without giving her anything, she will surely demand, no matter what. But she knows very well that at the long run, it can be possible. So for Ghana, you are born to at least think about 80% of the problem. Thank you.
Oh my world.
You take commission.
So this one says that, good morning. I took care of her since she was in level 200 at the university. I bought everything and paid the fees, but I didn't waste my money. Now we're happily married. You see, we do that if the person is a marriageable material.
So level 200, what's that?
That's another.
Kofi,
What's level 200?
Level 200 in the university. So 4 years.
Second year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
So it was part of the courtship.
Okay,
So he
I
prepared
have
him
Martin
to.
Luther. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Della. How are you?
Adam, I'm fine. Yourself?
Nice, guys.
Great. Oh, hello.
Yeah, can I continue?
Yes, please go ahead.
Hello, I've been listening to your resource persons, and all of them are making a profound statement.
They're discussants, okay?
But see, my problem is, how do you, if you want to go out with a lady and you think that taking care of her education will guarantee her or will guarantee as element for you to get married, you are deceiving yourself. It's a very dangerous trend that people should not attempt at all. I've witnessed two people when I was in the city, a carpenter taking care of somebody who wanted to top up of a university degree. Well, one is shapefulness. He told the man that you're not my class. So please, I never think that material things will be an anchor for you to get a man or a woman. It is never true. Why do you decide to smash somebody else's education while you are not married? If you married somebody find it difficult to do so. So please, never let us do things that you cannot, and later it costs us. Fine, it is good when you get married to your wife or your husband, you want to support her. Personally, if the woman succeeds or gets a good job, it supports the family. But in relationship, you don't know your fate. A guy is going to sustain. Why do you do such capital intensive practice and later you regret? So I don't think, and then mind you, most girls and men are pretending. Cohabiting is nothing good that can lead to a good marriage. If you want to marry a woman and man, study it yourself. When it's time when you have got a second that I want this lady, a responsible man, a responsible lady who doesn't talk, who is responsible, who works, who is neat in the house. You can see it because you will never know a woman that's a professional pretender. Perpetually, you will never notice. When you get married to them, you see that when she wakes up.
Martin Luther, I think we get your point. Thank you very much. So for him, I mean, then why? So yeah, he draws my mind to this point. Why don't you just get married to the person and then help the person? Now you know you're married to the person. So if that is the case, if you're afraid, because there are some people, honestly, who genuinely need the support. And then, you're thinking that, okay, because I may end up not getting married to you, I won't support you. So if you love them, you have studied them, and you think that, you'd want to live your life with this person, and you're just afraid of the fact that because we haven't secured ourselves in marriage, we're not bonded in marriage, I am afraid to support you. Why don't you just support the person?
I agree, because I'm looking at the fact that you can even help your friends, okay, friends that you have no expectation of ever being in a relationship with them, even if they need issues. Oh, maybe. But the thing is that girlfriend, boyfriend, you are still friends. You are not married.
And then I won't be an NGO.
I know. Good morning.
Yeah.
Yes. Then I won't be an NGO.
Noel is on the line. Hello, Noel. Good morning.
Good morning, Adam.
Yes.
Thanks for the discussion, and good morning to all the panelists. I have a situation concerning what you are discussing. Can I go ahead?
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going out with this lady. We are both working. And we started somewhere this year. I started with the usual guys thing, surprises, little gifts, credit, data, here and there. Along the line, I stopped. And I stopped because I felt like if I don't do it, she demands for it. And I'm like, okay, let me stop doing it and find out what her actions would be. Ever since I stopped till now, it has been the bone of contention, the quarrel between why did I stop the things I was doing. And I said to her, you are working. I'm working. This is a relationship. I'm not obliged to do this.
So why did you start it?
Okay, it's not like I started it because I felt like let me do it. But along the line, I realized that these things are not worth it. Let me just be real with her.
Was she not appreciative of it?
She was. But I was. Felt like,
did she give you reason not to do it again?
Well, I think so, because I was also expecting something that was like, okay, if I'm not doing it, if I do same to her, I give you stuff, and I'm not expecting anything from her. But I'm not seeing that aspect of her giving back.
Yes.
So I stopped. Okay. And ever since I stopped, it has been a bone of contention between us, to the extent that I am thinking, okay, if this is the person the way she is, then let me stop. Secondly,
so you were also expecting little things?
No, little, but like, I'm going to expect something like, okay, when I marry this person at the end of the day, she'll give when I don't have. So sometimes
but she didn't show that.
She didn't show that. Oh, I don't have credit.
But you're still with her.
But I'm still with her.
Okay, so what? Not giving her the data and not buying the little gifts, does it solve the problem in future?
It hasn't solved the problem. But my aspect now is that let me back out.
Yes.
Because I don't see.
Have you had conversations about it? Or you're just internalizing it?
No, I'm not internalizing it. We sat down and discussed it in detail. And
she still says she won't support.
Okay. It's not like she made it bluntly to me that I shouldn't expect support from a lady that I I go out with her, I'm married.
It's time to
Wow,
leave.
okay.
It's time to leave. No, it's time to leave.
But he's moved on.
and these-
From his conversation,
He's
he's moved on.
not in the
He has moved
relationship.
on.
He's
He's
moved
moved
on.
on.
It's
He's
time to
just
leave.
waiting for the girl to make.
there
a
is
mistake.
someone.
Yeah.
There is someone out there who is ready to assist, to be a partner to you. Listen,
Okay,
this one.
for a
don't even
woman
waste your
to
time.
say that, I mean, if you expect support from me, and we've had
Bye-bye.
conversations about you also, reciprocating the support here and there, and you say that don't expect it from me because we're in a relationship, but you are expecting it
No,
from
no.
Exactly.
me, even though we are in a
Exactly.
relationship.
Even Father
Then
Christmas,
that's-
when
No,
you
no,
give
no.
him something, he'll give you a hug.
Noel,
That's right.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought he wasn't real though.
Noel.
Adam,
Yeah. So what's it with you? Planning to leave? You're bidding your time? What
No,
is
no,
it?
leave.
I think I've consistently wanted to leave, but she has been pleading. So now
Emotional manipulation.
If you don't leave, it's your
Okay,
fault.
so you know
Yeah.
what?
Kind of like-
would you
appeal.
want support from somebody who can talk to you both and help with counseling here and there?
Oh, okay, I think that will do.
Okay, so we'll take that step again.
I'm offering my services.
We're putting PG on the line, and then Daniela will take your number as well. We'll see what PG can do to support you both. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Ah.
Counseling care. You should leave her.
Boyfriend, girlfriend, counseling.
Yeah, but that's what you are until you get married, aren't you?
What are you talking about?
Well,
Isn't that when you
just
get
want
counseling?
To be sure. Maybe I also need some, but I'm not aware.
You do. Yeah. As to the reason
Very
why
soon
they don't
we'll
want to say
move
it.
from dating, counseling.
Okay,
courtship,
so there's
counseling.
a message here that says, Adam, tell Kweku we are listening. He keeps displaying goodies on his status. We just the watch.
Boys,
He's not being honest. Okay, Adam praises 10 years and hooray, celebrating 10 years of the Lord's goodness. We take you back to our humble beginning. Adam praises on the 6th of September, Friday. 6th September is actually Friday at the Perez Dome, Jolu, with the finest assembly of praise leaders: Joe Beecham, Cindy Thompson, Francis Amo, Daughters of Glorious Jesus, Obapa Christie, Joe Metal, Bethel Revival Choir, Kweku Jesi, Yawa Jiman Bedu, Professor Kofi Abraham. Tickets 60 Ghana Cedi standard. Gate opens at 3 p.m. and show starts at 6 p.m. all through to 11 p.m. The 10th edition of Adum Praise is powered by Adum 106.3 FM and brought to you by Airtel Tigo Fuse. No expiry date. Dial *567# to bundle now. Sponsors: Cowbell Milk fortified with vitamins A, B, C, D, E, and A, B, C, D, E, and K. Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance. DBS Roofing Sheets, Roof Papa Fee, Franco Trading Enterprise, Phone Papa Fee, Vitamilk, a meal on its own. FPAC blows your pain away. Adum Natural Man's Capsules, Emma Berima, Grace Homeopathic Clinic, the leading homeopathic clinic in Ghana. Big Maron Pharmacy, Yield Money Plus All Distributors, King City Estates, Unique Price, Feco Spray Starch, Roma Insecticide Spray and Coil, Ajenkwa Garlic from Greenfield Scientific Herbal Research and Clinic, Escort Security Services, Bobo Mosquito Coil. Adum Praise, ye be him media partners, Adum TV, Joy, Prime TV, Joy FM, Asempa FM, Hits FM, myjoyonline.com, Adum online.com, Sunny FM, JoyNews, Insure FM, Love FM, Sweet Melodies FM, and Footprints TV. Okay, so we're unable to raise PG on the line, but is he on now? Do we have him? Okay. Hi, PG, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
I am absolutely
And thanks for the visit.
Oh.
Okay, we have just about some 2 minutes or so to go. You've been listening to our conversation, right?
Yes.
Okay. We just, some few nuggets from you to wrap up.
Okay. So I can go on.
Yes, please go ahead.
Oh, right. Okay. So, right. So I've been listening to the conversation and why act married when you're not married, right?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So first and foremost, what is marriage? Marriage is a legally and formally recognized union between two partners. In certain jurisdictions, they specify between a man and a woman. Now, within this, legal framework are roles and responsibilities, rights and obligations. and it is within this that we all act and behave. So if you begin to take on certain roles and responsibilities that has got no social or cultural or legal or family or spiritual backing, then really what exactly are you trying to do, or what exactly are you trying to get across? You understand?
Yeah, acting married.
Yes, yes, you are acting married. You were just role playing it, but you can role play it all you want. But there is an existential reality that comes up when serious issue comes up. Will the person stand and continue to play married? So you are a woman, you are cooking, cleaning, having sex, providing financially or supporting a man financially. Will the man then be obligated?
Sometimes giving birth.
Yes, giving birth. Thank you. Will the man be obligated at a later date to look at these things and then, based on that, be committed to you? One thing that I would like to say is that sometimes we put ourselves in that position for diverse reasons, and I think that some of your discussants have said it. So for financial gains or for financial support or for whatever. But you see, people are not going to be poor forever. So you met a lady who was, say, 22 years old, had finished secondary school for a while. You like her, so you support her through university. You spend a lot of money on her, and you literally play daddy and you play husband at the same time. It's a very confused role. Now, the lady turns 25, 26, 27, probably 30, and she looks back at her life and she's thinking, if I had money at 22, you wouldn't be the man I want to be with. I had money at 22, you wouldn't be the man I'm sleeping with. So I'm thinking now I can pay my debt to you and move on. Or I'm thinking I can actually just get up and move on. And it happens. I see a lot of young women who are not satisfied, who are not happy, because along the line, the relationship metamorphosed into marriage because it was a must. Parents came in, people came in. You guys have played this thing for so long. Now finally legalize it. But then they are not happy. I've seen a lot of men also in that same position who played husbands, and then along the line a child came in, and then they were obligated to marry, or family pressure started coming in, so then they were obligated to marry. Along the line they get up and then they are thinking, is this what I really want? You understand?
PG, you have to wrap up for us.
I know, right? Time. So I am basically just saying that if you are not married, try and draw certain boundaries. Don't make certain financial expenses that you are not supposed to. Don't get to a certain level of emotions that you're not supposed to get. The question of cohabitation came up. Be careful, because it is one thing when you are staying with someone without any obligations and legal rights, and then remember, it becomes different when the person has to commit. So please be single and act single. It's a relationship, it's courtship. Have fun, enjoy each other, but don't play married and don't act like a married couple. It has its own implications in the future. Adam.
Thank you very much, PG Sebastian. Summing it up very nicely. Thank you. Do you agree?
Yes and no. So, I mean, there's some parts that I definitely do agree, but there's some parts as well that I feel that perhaps it's because we're calling it active marriage. That's why it sounds negative. But there are certain things that just happen in a relationship that are not particularly someone just trying to purposely act as if they're married.
Okay, so my ladies,
our time is up. Actually, we need to go. Right, so, do you agree?
Actually, I do agree.
Quickly, you do.
I agree,
okay.
But the difficulty is we don't define what we are in. We don't define the relationship we find.
But
in.
you do agree that don't act married.
No.
Okay.
The consequences you can't live with it.
Don't act married when you are not married. Understand marriage. Understand you're in a relationship, and stick to the confines of what you find yourself in. Thank you all very much for doing the listening. My name is Adam Naite. Thank you, Daniela. To you, Selwyn Ofori. Next week we're back on your radio, the Weekend City Show with Sammy Forsen and his team. Next.
I'm a lovely case, I've lost my own and waiting